Liu Kang is the premier champion of Mortal Kombat. He's won multiple tournaments and honestly made it look easy. But oftentimes I wonder, who else could have done it? Remember what Kenshi said in Mortal Kombat X?
You begrudge me my role as champion. I merely think others were as qualified. This will change your thinking.
Yeah, that idea keeps me up at night. Who honestly could step to Liu Kang? Because the Mortal Kombat series is filled with powerful fighters. Surely some of them can sleep Liu Kang, right? Especially some of the heroes who we never get to see fight him because they're on the same side. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments, because today I'm ranking characters who I think could actually dance with Liu Kang. As you can see, this list contains every character from MK Trilogy, because I really didn't feel like ranking every character in Mortal Kombat history today. But if today's video gets 2,000 likes, I will absolutely make another tier list ranking every character against Liu Kang. And wow, look at that, my previous video hit 2,000 likes, which means I gotta do a bicycle kick, which is perfect because Scorpion still owes me $10. Where are you, Scorpion? Come here, Scorpion! First up, I wanted to talk about Raiden, who I think could definitely beat Liu Kang because he is the god of thunder. So not only does he have lightning powers, but also thousands of years of fighting experience under his belt. In fact, Battle of the Realms implies that the Shaolin monks are fighting with Raiden's technique, as in he created and perfected their martial arts style, which means he knows every attack that Liu Kang can do before he even does it. So yeah, Raiden could definitely win. However, with that said, I don't think it's an easy win, and with the right motivation, Liu Kang could win the day. That scene in Mortal Kombat 11 makes no sense. The writers forget that gods can lose in the Mortal Kombat universe. For Pete's sake, Sub-Zero defeated Fujin. People forget about that. And the Deadly Alliance defeated Raiden. He couldn't even take out one of them. Both Deadly Alliance members are left standing against Raiden. So yeah, the gods in Mortal Kombat are not undefeatable. It can happen. Oh boy, Kabal is next. That's an interesting character because the guy has super speed and tons of gadgets, which when combined could allow Kabal to land a few hits. But overall, Kabal's win record is not that good outside of MK9, but in that game, every character you pick is unstoppable, so it's not good reference material. I don't think Kabal's a pushover, but he's never defeated anybody on Liu Kang's level. But how about Ermac? That's an interesting matchup. I think it would be a close fight, and understand my reasoning here, okay? Let me present my case. In Deception, Ermac fought several top fighters at once, and the guy wasn't even sweating. And in Mortal Kombat 9, he defeated Jax like it was nothing, and Jax is also not a pushover, so yeah, Ermac is about that life. The man is thousands of souls combined into one, so his power level is pretty high. Next up, let's talk about Johnny Cage, because I think he would make Liu Kang sweat. Because all jokes aside, Johnny Cage is a powerful fighter. In fact, he's one of Earthrealm's strongest fighters, which is why Raiden chose him in the first tournament. And some watching might argue that his green glow could actually defeat Liu Kang, and that definitely is a possibility. However, I don't think Liu Kang would bring that out of Johnny Cage, because typically he's saving somebody he loves or in a life or death situation, neither of which would happen against Liu Kang, right? Johnny Cage would not feel the need to activate that crazy inner strength in this sparring match, which some people might call a cop-out, but I want to consider the personalities in this tier list, right? And realistically, I don't think Johnny Cage would get that serious against Liu Kang, so he's not gonna win. Next up is Mileena, dusted. Absolutely dusted. I love this character. I'm a die-hard Mileena fan, but she can't dance with Liu Kang. Come on, it's not even close. Even Katana was unable to land a clean hit against Liu Kang in the games. Alright, and that shows you how powerful Liu Kang is, and Mileena has never once defeated Katana in a fair fight. But how about Jax? This matchup is interesting because you new bloods have no clue about classic Jax's power level. And I'm not kidding, NetherRealm gaslit everyone into thinking that Jax is just kind of strong. No. In the original games, Jax is quite literally the strongest soldier on Earth. For example, he fought Kentaro to a standstill before getting his cybernetic arms. That's how powerful Jax is in his default state. And for anybody wondering, Kentaro and Goro are about the same power level, and Jax went toe-to-toe with Kentaro, otherwise Goro, which is one of Liu Kang's best feats. Or in other words, this fight is closer than you think, especially with the metal arms upgrade. Jax is no joke, he's very terrifying. And on that same note, let's talk about Noob Saibot, because this man bested Goro too. That's right, in the Midway era, Noob defeated Goro, so he's close to Liu Kang's level. However, I don't think he has what it takes to win. Next up, we have Baraka, dusted. Absolutely dusted. Even worse than Mileena, because I think think she takes it over Baraka. She's Katana plus Tarkatan, whereas Baraka's just a strong Tarkatan, but against Liu Kang, that's a joke. Next up is Shao Kahn though, who I think could definitely win against Liu Kang, especially if it's a rematch and he stacks the odds in his favor, maybe with a Solnado or something of that nature. He would cheat, in other words. Shao Kahn would absolutely cheat, but hey, in MK11 he won fair and square, which I know is not the best reference, but hey, it happened. We can't deny it. Liu Kang has lost against Shao Kahn at least one time canonically, and as fans we have to accept that. So I think yes, on his best day, or maybe Liu Kang's worst day, Shao Kahn could win this. But next up, I want to talk about the cyborgs, because I think they would make Liu Kang sweat, especially the Battle of the Realms version, which I know the movies are not canon, but I think that's the best showing we've had of the cyborgs. In my mind, that's how I pictured these characters fighting in the games, because even before the cyberization, they're top class ninjas with gadgets and martial arts techniques, all that stuff, but then powered up with cyber technology that makes them tanks who can fly and shoot missiles and stuff. Yeah, I think they would make Liu Kang sweat quite a bit, and if they jump him, I think they could win, but that's not today's video. It's always going to be a 1v1 assumption. And individually, I don't think Sector Cyrax or Cyber Smoke take this victory, but they would make Liu Kang sweat because they're tanks. Real quick, some obvious characters and obvious ranks, like Goro is going into close fight because of course he is, whereas Kano and Stryker are going in the dusted tier. I don't really need to elaborate. Yes, Stryker has weapons, but Liu Kang can dodge gunfire on reaction. We've seen this in the movies and games, and even in Shaolin Monks, Kung Lao straight up says, your gun's useless against me, it doesn't work. In fact, even Reptile can react to gunfire in the game, so yeah, even with guns, Stryker loses. Along with Chameleon, I think she's very sneaky, but she's gonna lose. She's a big copycat. And Katana, I love you, but you're not winning. You might land a few hits, but we've seen these fights in the games, and Katana is nowhere near Liu Kang's level. I wish he was. I'm a diehard Katana fan, but we gotta stay logical here, alright? And there's no example of Katana getting anywhere near Liu Kang's level. Along with Sonya Blade, she's landing a few hits, maybe, but she's not gonna win. I'm sorry, she gets captured in every game. I love the First Lady of Mortal Kombat, she has my respect, but realistically, she's not even making Liu Kang sweat. But how about Sindel? Yeah, there's a lady who could actually give Liu Kang a tough fight. She's Queen of Edenia with thousands of years to train in martial arts and has magic out the wazoo, way more than Katana for whatever reason. Katana has magic fans and maybe some teleportation, whereas Sindel can fly, scream so loud it stuns you, and fire blasts from her mouth, and her hair is a weapon also. Sindel is just on a different level when it comes to Edenians, and as a result, I think she would give Liu Kang a close fight. But how about Scorpion, the face of Mortal Kombat? Could he win against Liu Kang? No, it's never happened. There's no reason to assume that's even possible. However, would it be a close fight? No, there's no examples of that. Liu Kang always wins convincingly. But would he make Liu Kang sweat? Yes, I think so. Maybe in front of Johnny Cage. Although Johnny Cage has defeated Scorpion on occasion, but also Scorpion would actually be trying to kill Liu Kang, so I think he'd sweat a bit more in that fight. Kung Lao, so I think Kung Lao could actually beat Liu Kang on his best day. I really do, because I'm old school like that, alright? And back in the day, Liu Kang and Kung Lao were comparable to each other. In fact, I would argue they're evenly matched, but Liu Kang has destiny on his side, or the Elder God's favor, some nonsense like that. And unfortunately, NetherRealm games have gaslit us into thinking that Liu Kang is up here and Kung Lao's down here. No, in my mind, they're even, or at least really close to each other. Which means on his best day, Kung Lao could defeat Liu Kang. I could see that happening. Especially if we're talking MK2 or MK4 Kung Lao, who is a beast. Where is Shang Tsung? Where is he? There he is. So I think that Shang Tsung could win with cheating, and he absolutely would cheat, because this man has never fought fairly once in his life, and we've seen him beat Liu Kang on multiple occasions, both in games and movies. So yeah, that's proof that Shang Tsung could win. However, he definitely is cheating. Like mentioned earlier, I'm factoring in the personalities here, and I think Shang Tsung could cheat and then defeat Liu Kang. But what about the Sub-Zero brothers? Here's where things get interesting, because I think Kuai Liang is about that life. In front of Jax, but behind Sindel, that's about where I think his power level is. However, Bi-Han is also no joke. Keep in mind that this guy defeated Fujin, apparently, in Mythology Sub-Zero. Now with that said, do I believe that game is 100% canon? Do I think that Fujin would lose to Sub-Zero? No, I really don't, because Scorpion killed Bi-Han, and I don't see Scorpion beating Fujin, so like, what's going on here? I think I would put Bi-Han right about here. That seems the most realistic to me. Every now and then, games are BS, right? You can't trust him 100% of the time, and Mythology Sub-Zero is one of those games. Okay, real quick, some more randos. Shiva is getting dusted, Jade is getting dusted, but she's in front of Mileena. I think Reptile is landing a few hits because he turns invisible, and his martial arts skills are decent too, right? He's a lizard man, he's got super strength, all that. I think Smoke is going in front of Kabal. Rain is going like behind Smoke. I don't think he's about that life so much. He's kind of privileged, you know? For anyone watching not aware, Rain always got his position based on politics. He never actually earned it. Next up is Kentaro, who's just even with Goro right about here. Maybe actually behind Sindel or roughly around here, maybe. What about Motaro though? I'm thinking in front of the cyborgs, but behind Johnny Cage. Actually, he killed Johnny Cage. That's canon. In Mortal Kombat 3 or something, he killed Johnny Cage straight up, which means he's got to go in front, right? And I think that leaves us with Nightwolf. And here's the crazy thing. Nightwolf could give a close fight to Liu Kang, honestly. Mainly because magic, right? Nightwolf is bringing all sorts of stuff to the table that Liu Kang has never tangled with before, which I think definitely helps his chances in the fight. Do I think Nightwolf is ever winning? No, not really. However, it would be close. I really do think so. People underestimate how powerful Nightwolf is supposed to be, especially with all of his magic on the table. Alright everyone, and there you have it. My tier list on who could beat Liu Kang realistically in the Mortal Kombat series. Like mentioned earlier, it's just the trilogy roster because I did not want to rank every single character today. However, if we get 2,000 likes on today's video, I will make that sequel and rank every single character in Mortal Kombat history against Liu Kang. As you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. And then finally, finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.